Hello everyone, welcome to another FPL video. In today's video we're going to take a look at my Game Week 24 team selection. Also going to take a look at a few talking points with the announcement of double Game Week 26, the first double game week of the season. We're going to take a look at a few talking points based off players to have ahead of double game week, fixtures that would actually kind of alter the outcome of teams that are going to actually be having the first double game week of the season. We're also going to take a look at some of my transfer ideas ahead of game week 24 deadline and do a quick review of how my team fared in game week 23. Hello again, FPL.CARNAGE here. So let's talk about how my team fared in game week 23. But if you're new around here and you enjoyed the video, please do well to leave a like, share this video, subscribe so you can get notifications whenever I post my videos. And now let's get right into it. In game week 23, my team scored 49 points, another decent green arrow up onto 1.7. We're gradually getting back, climbing up, and hopefully we can continue on the upward trajectory. In goal, I started with Sanchez going into this game week. I honestly had a slight feeling of going Dubravka. In all honesty, I did think about it, but it just felt like it looked like a game where Liverpool could just, spring up with anything at any time, or rather Tottenham could just, do something or get something out of the game. And Burnley really had a good game, and kudos to Dubravka getting a lot of saves also in that game. So he returned 5 points on my bench. I did have Sanchez, who saw his clean sheets get wiped to 10-man Newcastle. I honestly did not see that one happening, especially seeing they were leading 3-0 before the red card. I thought the clean sheet was locked, but he did get save points to return 3 points. I started double Arsenal defense, which for the first time actually punished me, but I still see it as the best route to go. Honestly, I don't see a better double up in defense than the Arsenal defense. I started Timber and Gabriel in the Manchester United game. Unfortunately, they did concede 3 goals, and none of the defenders were able to pick up any attacking returns or DEFCON points, so they both returned 1 point. Tarkowski saw his clean sheet get wiped in the game against Leeds, but he did return DEFCON points, returned 4 points. And in my midfield, I had Bruno Fernandes, who I brought in with one of my free transfers, who got an assist for a really spectacular double goal in that game against Arsenal to return 5 points. Wilson picking up the late winner in that game against Brighton, also picking up a couple of bonus points to return 10 points, has been a really good bargain since bringing him in my team. I had him before my wildcard. I think I sold him 2 weeks before my wildcard and then decided to bring him again on my wildcard, so it's just been a really excellent own so far this season. Enzo Fernandez, who was another player I brought in with my second free transfer for Ryan Cherky, another good move for me bringing him in. He got the 3rd goal in the game against Crystal Palace, returning 8 points, also picking up a couple of bonus points in that game, 1 bonus point to be precise. And then Declan Rice as my 4th midfielder, who also returned just 1 point in that game. No DEFCON points, no attacking return, so just the 1 point. Up in attack, Bowen returning a goal and an assist and 3 bonus points in the game against Sunderland, first fixture of the week. Honestly, it was a really nice own, the first return since bringing him in on my wild card, so just really excited that he has finally returned a double-digit haul for that matter. It also looks like he's back on set piece duties with Paqueta leaving the club, so that's also a really great position for him to be in, and seeing he's also nailed on minutes, right? So that's a really excellent one. Thiago with another blank in that game against Forest, unfortunately, and Haaland, like I predicted, was most likely not going to be starting that game. I'm not so pained because my vice captain was Thiago, who also blanked. So yeah, Haaland did come off the bench and just returned the 2 points in that game against Wolves. On my bench, like I said, Dubravka with 5 points. I also had Bruno Guimaraes, who was on my bench but not fit enough to start that game over the weekend, so he returned 0 points. Mukiele getting an assist in the game against West Ham, first game of the fixture, and Gudmundsson, who was not fit enough as well to play in the game against Everton, so he returned 0 points. So 49 points in total for my team, a decent green arrow, a lot of positives to take, and I'm going to be talking about some of them and why I'm still really pleased with the structure of my team since the wild card going into my game week 24 team selection and the announcement of the double game week 26. So in game week 24, I am still going to be starting Sanchez in goal. This is the run of fixtures that I was looking at when I brought him in on my wildcard in game week 21. Thankfully, since then, he has returned 9 points in the last 2 game weeks. Rather, he has returned 14 points actually. He returned an 11 pointer and a 3 pointer last week. So he has his home game against West Ham this week. He's going to be my starting goalkeeper. I could make a case to bring in Dubravka, but he is away at Sunderland. Sunderland are still unbeaten at home. I don't know that I see this as a 0-0 fixture. I think Sunderland will get a goal in this game. I don't know that they will create enough chances for Dubravka to get a lot of save points, but honestly, this is the fixtures. This is the fixture run I brought Sanchez in for, so he's going to start for me. I'm going with double Arsenal defense because why not? Timber and Gabriel away at Leeds, a really good fixture. Leeds have looked, revitalized in recent games. They have really been good, especially at home as well. I think this is a fixture that they can possibly cause Arsenal some problems. We did see Gabriel and Timber rested for the midweek fixture in the Champions League. Arsenal had already qualified, so there was a lot of rotation. Gabriel got the rest, Timber got the rest, Saliba got the rest, Raya, basically all their first team starters, right, got the rest. So Arsenal coming off 2 draws and a loss against Manchester United. This is a game they would look to go all out to try and get 3 points, possibly keep a clean sheet. So I'm going to go with my double Arsenal defense. Mukiele is going to start for me at home to Burnley. Like I said, they do not concede, or rather they have not lost at home so far. The only team that hasn't lost at home this season. Mukiele is really good for DEFCON, and he has picked up a couple of attacking returns in recent game weeks as well. So I don't mind having him as my third defender in my starting lineup. Into my midfield, I did bring in Bruno Fernandes in the Arsenal ahead of the Arsenal fixture last week. It was a risky one. I did decide to bring him in to avoid the price rise and target his fixtures from game week 24 as well. So he's going to be my starting midfielder in my team for game week 24. He is playing a really decent game at home to Fulham, and Manchester United have looked really good attacking wise. Bruno Fernandes going back to the number 10 role where he has more freedom to go forward, give those key passes, get into the boxes for those shots. He is on penalties, he is on free kicks and set piece duties as well. So he's just the best midfield asset to have in the game at the moment. He is a really strong contender for the armband at the moment for me. My vice captain is on him. I am going to make a final decision on whether I just decide to captain him going into this game. My second midfielder at the moment is Enzo Fernandez, who I brought in using my second free transfer in game week 23 at home to West Ham. He has returned in 5 of his last 6 games, also got a goal in their midweek fixture against Napoli in the Champions League. I am only a bit concerned about his minutes, seeing that his new coach may decide to rest him, but I think he gets the nod in the starting lineup, seeing that Chelsea will want to keep going strong. I think Palmer will also get a start, so just maybe tilts to the fact that he may lose penalty duties when Palmer is on the field, but I still like him as an FPL asset for this run of fixtures. Rice is my third midfielder away at Leeds. He is on free kicks, he is on corner duties as well. Nailed, got rested in midweek ahead of their Champions League fixture, so I think he starts the game against Leeds and could possibly pick up a couple of attacking returns, maybe from the set pieces, or just regular open play goals. So he's going to be starting for me as my third midfielder. And my fourth midfielder at the moment is going to be Harry Wilson away at Manchester United. It could possibly just be an end-to-end game. Fulham and Manchester United always produces goals from both ends. Wilson, best Fulham player at the moment, 8 goals so far in the Premier League, their highest goal scorer for the club. He's just really terrific. He has been on the form of his life. I think this is his best scoring FPL season so far, so I don't mind having him starting for me going into game week 24. And up top, I have Bowen, who is away at Chelsea. Like I said, he is now nailed on penalty duties. Chelsea's defense isn't still the most solid. West Ham are looking to leave the relegation battle, trying to push up, just give themselves some kind of lifeline. So I think it's going to be an end-to-end game. The first fixture, we saw a 5-1 goal thriller against Chelsea and West Ham. We could see something similar in this game, with West Ham maybe possibly picking up a couple more goals in this game. Hopefully some of them can come through ball and pick up a couple of attacking returns. Thiago is my second attacker away at Aston Villa. Aston Villa have looked really, really good. They came away with a win at St. James Park over the weekend. I don't know how this game is going to go. Thiago has blanked in his last game. I think his last 2 games actually. It is a risk, honestly, but I do still see myself starting him. Plus, he is still nailed on penalties. His minutes are good as well. I really like FPL assets who offer, a lot of routes and security in returning points in the game. Thiago is one of them. I could also just decide to move away from Bruno Guimaraes, who is away at Liverpool, to the likes of Semenyo or Mbeumo. But at the moment, I can't afford the move to Mbeumo because I'm a couple million short. So I am honestly thinking of Semenyo or Morgan Rogers for that game against Brentford, which would see me switch to a 3-5-2 formation. Right. That's if I do decide to sell Bruno Guimaraes, and then if I bring in Rogers or Semenyo, I could be tempted to bench Thiago. Right. Although Villa do concede a lot of goals as well, like they're not the best team in terms of clean sheets, returns, and all of that. So I still could see Thiago getting a goal or 2 even in this game, right? So it's just picking the moment. I do like the option of Semenyo as a punt even going forward. He got rested in the Champions League run. With a couple of tough fixtures coming on. He is the 3rd highest goal scoring player currently in the EPL. I think he's on 11 goals. Jeremy Doku is injured for Man City, so it just provides more assurances for minutes being nailed for him in the Man City lineup. So I do like the idea of having Semenyo for maybe the next 2-3 weeks, pending return of Doku and what we can tell from the structure of the City team going forward. But I think his minutes are fairly more secured compared to the likes of Cherki and Foden in that team at the moment. So I don't really mind bringing in Semenyo for Bruno Guimaraes. I think at the moment it's between Semenyo and Morgan Rogers for me, right? If I do bring in one of them, it then becomes a bit of a benching headache between Bowen, Wilson and Thiago. But these are the people I am honestly targeting for my transfer. I have 1 free transfer in the bank. But my 3rd attacker is Erling Haaland away at Tottenham. He has 4 goals and an assist in his last 7 games against them. He hasn't really been on the best of forms. I think his goal yesterday makes it about 2 goals in 8 games or 9 games. But he was really good, for the better part of the game yesterday in the Champions League. Also made decent runs, could have easily gotten 2 goals actually, missed a free header in the opening minutes of the game. So I don't mind leaving the armband on him. It is currently on him as well, but I think Bruno just makes a really strong case for having the armband. He has returned in his last 3 games since returning from that injury against Burnley, against Manchester City and against Arsenal. I think he could continue that run against Fulham. So it's just a really, really tight one. I think Bruno may just nick it for me going into the deadline. But yeah, my captain still is on Haaland at the moment. My vice is on Bruno Fernandes. We'll just see how it goes as the deadline approaches. And then on my bench, I still have Bruno Guimaraes on my bench away at Liverpool, Dubravka away at Sunderland, Tarkowski away at Brighton, and Gudmundsson at home to Arsenal, right? Like I said, depending on who I decide to bring in, if I bring in Morgan Rogers, I do see one of Thiago or Bowen just going to the bench, or I could even bench Harry Wilson, in all honesty. Manchester United, these are the kind of games they could just shock us and pull a clean sheet out of the hat. So it's just, I'm kind of going to try and weigh my options and just go with whichever. If you do have any thoughts, please let me know in the comment section on who you think would be best fit to start in my lineup. And then looking at my formation going into double game week 26, which has been announced, it just depends on the Arsenal-Chelsea tie, right? It's the second leg of that game. So pending who qualifies to the finals of that game would then determine who doubles, right? So if Arsenal wins the game, they double in 26. If Chelsea wins, they double in 26. I think Chelsea's fixtures are a little bit more easier, right? Would be more approachable in terms of attacking returns and possibly even defensive returns. Arsenal would possibly face Forest and Brentford away, while Chelsea would face Everton and Bournemouth at home, which I really think are considerably easier fixtures compared to the Arsenal fixture, right? Arsenal, yes, they still remain the best defensive team in Europe, but Chelsea, under their new manager, have begun to play really, decent enough football. They're scoring a lot of goals, and his only loss so far has come in that first leg tie to Arsenal, right? So I do think I would prefer the Chelsea double up. I do have two Chelsea assets already. I have Sanchez, I have Enzo Fernandez. I wouldn't mind bringing in the likes of João Pedro if Chelsea does double for maybe someone like Thiago or Bowen. If Arsenal does double, I have Gabriel, Timber and Rice, so I'm pretty much covered. If Arsenal does double as well, we would see the likes of Wolves double in that game week as well. So I could possibly look at someone like Mane, who is currently at 4.5 as an attacker. And then if Chelsea doubles, Everton would double as well. So I could look to Ndiaye maybe for Bruno Guimaraes, or any possible player I do bring in for game week 24 or game week 25. So my team is still really, really set up nice for future game weeks, which I'm really pleased about. So yeah, this is what my game week 24 team is going to look like. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. If you have any thoughts on my benching headache and transfer dilemmas, I'd like to have your opinions as well in the comment section. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next FPL video.